to study, to learn, to discover, to invent, to decode our lives. You know, I see all the time people are comparing the average level of our education with other nations. May I say that in Israel, nothing is average. Either it's very high or very low. And when I think, for example, about our army, I think our army is first of all a great school, not a great army. Before it's a great army, no, it's a great army, but before it's a great army, it's a great school. The first, or part of the first soldiers that joined in the army didn't speak Hebrew. The army taught them Hebrew. The army educated them in science and technology. The real foundation of the high-tech in Israel was born in the Ministry of Defense. There is no branch in the army today without schools, without teachers, without a demand to be on the first rank of understanding and knowledge. And I want to say the results are fascinating. Israel has achieved today, I believe, at least 2 outstanding achievements. One in the field of security and the other in the field of agriculture. Security-wise, we were outgunned and outnumbered from the very first day of the existence of the State of Israel. Actually, we have had a war before we have had state. And being such a little country, such a small people, we were all told 650,000 persons against 40 millions. We were attacked by 7 armies that have had air forces, naval force, ground forces. We didn't have a single plane, a single boat, a single gun, and we were attacked by them. Supposedly, we should have lost it if we would judge by numbers, by sizes, by quantities. Yet we did not. What equalized our situation were not guns and tanks, but were young people, totally devoted, ready to sacrifice their lives. And many of them, maybe the best we have had, lost their lives. But we won the war. And today, may I say, that our international relations in the military domain are better than in the political one. Because no matter what they write in the newspapers, when it comes to security, to fighting terror, there is a turn to Israel, to her strategies, to her organization, even to her arms. And it's a strange situation where our secret relations are better than our open relations. Our relations among the armies is better than among the peoples. And even people who attack us privately, they seek to learn from our experience. And Ben-Gurion, as you know, was a very modest person, like all of us. And he wanted to give a compliment to the army. He said, I don't know if Tzahal is the best army in the world. I don't know any army in the world that is better than Tzahal. I would follow this modesty and say it's a right conclusion. Then I'm coming to agriculture. That's really a real wonder. Look, we don't have much land. The land which we have is hostile to the people. Arid, poor, a real desert, mountainous. And not only is the land small, but the land is also a refusing land. refuses to submit to the accepted culture of agriculture. When it comes to water, what shall I say? We have a river that has more fame than water, the Jordan River. Everybody knows it, but one can hardly see the water. We have 2 lakes, one dead, the other is dying. And Israel is supposed to be, like many other countries in the Middle East, a poor country, short of water, short of food, dependent upon imports. And, I compared notes around with Medvedev, the president of Russia. I told him, Russia is 1,000 times the size of Israel. Russia is like 1,000 Israels. Russia has 25% of the sweet water in the world. 1,000 lakes with sweet water. And the amount of water we have. And unbelievably, we export agricultural goods to Russia. Russia just bought from us carrots for $150 million. And we are selling avocados to France and flowers to London. Actually, we have the first agriculture on earth without land and without water. We made agriculture a matter of high tech, really. And it goes on. And now, I shall give you an example. I visited a small moshav in the heart of Israel. It's called Achiud. The people in the moshav were not famous farmers. They came from Kurdistan. They founded their moshav 50 years ago. And they decided to specialize in the production of concubers. At that time, when they started, the yield of the concubers was 1 ton per dunam. 30 years later, they increased this to 3 tons per dunam. Today, there are 30 tons per dunam, which means that 1 dunam became 30 dunams. You have to judge by the products, by the yield, not by the size. When it comes to water, we are using our water right and left in an unbelievable way. 75% of our water is recycled, and we now arrive to a point where we computerize every tree and every piece of fruit and vegetables. If I should say it in a simple way, we attach a computer to the tree. The computer measures how much water does the tree drink, how much water does it need. We are very careful it won't become drunken. So the minute it has sufficient water, we cut it. By doing so, we are saving at least 30% of the water compared with any other country. And you know what? That was our greatest diplomatic achievement, the agriculture. If security appealed to the armies, agriculture appealed to the farmers. If Israel has an unbelievable name in the 2 newly created giants, China and India, it's basically because of agriculture. I'm not sure that in China they know exactly who were our real fathers. I'm not sure what they know about Moses or Abraham. I have the impression that they think that our parents were basically 3 or 4, Albert Einstein, Karl Marx, Sigmund Freud, maybe Henry Kissinger, I don't know. So they say if you have fathers that were so wise, you must be wise people. But what made a real name for Israel to this very day wasn't the Torah and wasn't the history. It was the achievements of our farmers. Unbelievable. Now I'm thinking about the future. What should be the third point of making Israel meaningful, important in our own eyes and the eyes of others? And my answer is medicine. You know, medicine is the greatest diplomacy on earth. People may refuse vegetables, they may refuse instruments, but nobody will refuse a remedy or a good instrument to save life. If I shall sell a glass of water, nobody will be interested. Who produced the glass? But if I shall propose a remedy to Alzheimer, everybody will remember me. And it so happened that Israel is outstanding in the domain of medicine. 15% of the most modern instruments in modern medicine were created here, produced here, and are being sold all over the world. Unbelievable things. You know, I have in my pocket a list of 8 candidates for the Nobel Prize, many of them in the domain of medicine, and among them, and I'm very proud about it, at least one Arab. This Arab scientist, a citizen of Israel, has invented what we call a nano-nose, which means that by a nano-instrument you can smell cancer without penetrating the body at an early stage. And it came out that you can discover many other maladies by the smell, not by operation. It's already in the laboratories, and I think in a year, 2 years' time, it will become available to all other peoples. And it so happened that even in the United States, or wherever Jewish people are, they have a special attraction to medicine. Our greatest philosopher after Moses, the Rambam, said that the attitude to medicine is the attitude to life. Saving life is really the first call. And I think that we can be of great help, again, to countries like China, like India. They are quite advanced, but every time they're advanced, we are a step ahead of them. We live on being a step ahead of in a step. What they call, I forgot the name of the book, the nation builder, what is the name of the book? That's it. In the latest thing in the Israeli medicine is simulation. Before you touch the sick person, you can simulate his sickness, operate it, and only then turn to the patient. It's a great invention. And again, we are ready and willing to contribute to whoever wants it. You know, I created the Paris Center. And deep in my heart, one of my moving experiences was a project headed by the Paris Center, which is called Save the Children. We have discovered there were 2,000 Palestinian babies that were hurt during the wars. We decided to cure them. We brought them over to the Israeli hospitals in Jerusalem and otherwise, them and their mothers, and they were cured. We carried all the cost. Once we were through with the 2,000 children, parents approached us and says, look, I have a child that wasn't hurt in the war, but he has problem with his heart or brain. Please, continue to do so. Until now, we saved 8,500 Palestinian children. 6,000 were operated. And luckily enough, in our hospitals, we have